Hello, everybody. This is Alia Jamal, the Love Coach. We are meeting for another Love Circle. And today we are talking about building a relationship with your soul. I know soul could be a word that can confuse us if we have not really studied that. It could be just a concept out there. It could be a word that you're like, I don't know what it means. But what I want to do with this conversation to make it something so real for you and to also help you understand how this is your hidden power. So when we talk about connect with your power, this is my inner power. My inner power is coming out now. I want to help you understand how it's all connected. So it's not just a big mystery. So you have practical steps that you can use every single day and you can actually connect with all of you. So I'm going to go just right into it. As you can already see, baby, this is the stuff that I absolutely love. When I started studying about soul, about the non-physical world, the things that we cannot see, energy body, that is where life started making sense to me. And this universe is created with a very perfect design. When you understand that design, that is when you can create your life any way you want. And my past 1 year have been way more transformational than any other part of my personal development journey. And that is what shifted. I learned how to connect with my soul in a way that I didn't know before. And right now, starting this year, that is the study I do a lot on my own. On the side, I am in multiple programs. So whatever I'm going to share with you is coming from tried, tested methods. It's not just a theory I'm sharing. I love to learn and implement first, so then I can bring it to you and I can tell you these are the steps you take, and that's how you can get there. So let's get into it. What is soul? Now, if you look at it from a religious perspective, whatever religion you are born in or you have studied, the soul is like, this divine power that God created, and then we just kind of lose it right there. But we do learn how to connect with God through prayer, through meditation, maybe just randomly talking to God. But then even that is just like, okay, but what do I do after that? Sometimes we do see the evidence that, yes, God exists. Yes, he has helped me through. But when we are out of that moment, we forget about it again till the next time we are actually in the thickness of things. Then we're like, okay, yeah, I remember God once helped me. Let me get back to him. So then we do have a connection, but it's like a broken connection, or it's a conditional connection. When I need, I'll reach out to you, to this invisible power that I have never seen. And when I don't need it, I won't. But we have so much help available to us at all time. Well, we have to learn what is it and how do I access it. And soul is one of those wonderful things that are available to us in this universe. So I'm gonna explain, go a little bit backward in how this all started. So let's say this is the divine power. You can say God, you can say source, you can say, the light, whatever words work for you. There is one higher power. That higher power created divine spark. So it's like, like a tiny grain of sand. So when this got created, yeah, this spark has some of the original essence, but not all of it. For example, if you go to a pottery class, if I go to a pottery class and let's say I create a bowl, anyone wants to guess what color it would be? It would be definitely pink, different shades of pink. It will be red. It will have turquoise in it. It will have some green in it. But if you go, you might create something that's purple, yellow, orange. So what's happening? A little bit of my essence is coming in the bowl because I created it. I love those colors. That's who I am. I run with those colors. I see those colors everywhere. So now a little bit of my essence, not all of me, a little bit of my likeness or my essence is in that bowl. So same way, when God created divine spark, it has that essence, but not all of it. Now, divine spark comes into a lower level of existence, and it becomes higher self. And higher self, it's another, we're just going to put a circle, higher self comes down, and that becomes your incarnated soul. Now, incarnated soul is what's going to come in a human body. So when the body gets created, it's that incarnated soul that's going in and out, in and out, in and out. It's the energy that goes in and out. The day it leaves and it doesn't come back, people are going to bury us. We're going to be dead. We're gone. So this whole class is going to be about, what is that? What is that? How you can connect it? What's the benefit of connecting with it? Why do you even want to connect with it? It's all about that. So this was all about soul is the divine being that has decided to come in this vessel called body. Now, the body has 5 senses. We process everything through those senses. When I see you are saying something to me, when I see, like, you're treating me certain way, I hear you're speaking specific words to me, my emotions, start to bubble up, and I start to get angry with you. Now my emotions are coming, and I create an imprint in my nervous system, like, this person is bad, this person is not good. So what's happening? We are playing on the human field, but then there is a soul field we can play at. And once you start playing at the soul field, life is very different. The rules and the games, everything changes. Life becomes so much easier. We're not going to go there today, but this would be a start for you to get to that level. So now this incarnated soul that is going in and out of your body. And when I say build a relationship with your soul, we are actually talking about your higher self. Because incarnated soul is the force that moves in and out. So when it moves through your body, it also creates aura around you, like a whole energy field. And everything that you have physically, you also have energetically. You have these physical 5 fingers, you have energetical 5 fingers. That's why sometimes when somebody's limb get cut off, they still feel itchy on their hand, but the hand doesn't exist. So we do have evidence scientifically, and people experience that there is an energy body that gets created by this incarnated soul coming into a more physical form. Now, this is where it gets interesting, like how we can actually use it in our day-to-day life. Why did your soul come here? Why did this higher self decided, I'm going to go in this body, very specific body, very specific part of the world, or very specific shape that you look, or maybe you're born in a very specific religion. So right now I study almost all the religions, and one thing I always keep in mind, my loyalty to my soul is it came in a Muslim household. So that is my loyalty, that is what I'll always be practicing. And it came there for a very specific reason, which I might or might not ever discover. But it came here for a very specific reason. And that reason usually is to serve others through its own divine gifts. Now, first we have to find those divine gifts are, and those divine gifts are not that you're going to go to school for 16 years and then you're going to get a degree and you're going to help other people. Yes, we do that. It's part of the world we live in. We are also part of a system. We are communities, we are cities, we are countries, the whole world globally. We need to carry a passport when we go to a different country. Yes, that is all there. But your unique gift is something that's already in you. You don't have to go to school for it because it's already in you, because you have been living with that gift for your whole life. You don't even know it's a gift, but your soul came here to share that, to serve others. It's almost like, we are sitting on a table. You brought dessert, I brought snacks, and somebody brought soda, and somebody brought the main dish, somebody brought salad, somebody brought meat. We are all here to share that. Now I can say, oh, oops, I forgot the dessert, but then I would just realize, oh, it's sitting in my bag. But I'm just sitting there, I'm like, oh, I cannot offer anything. That gift is already within us, and that is why our soul came here. So now it's our job to understand and learn and build a connection with our soul so we can actually hear what it's talking to us, what it's telling us, because soul is talking to us all the time. It's not that, today it's talking to us, tomorrow it forgot to talk to us. It's communicating all the time. But if I am busy outward using my five senses, I cannot hear what it's saying, because look at it this. That's why I drew this. This is higher density, much higher density. Now, those of us who have studied chemistry, especially like, organic chemistry, or even in organic chemistry, we understand that when the density is higher of a substance versus when it's a very, very refined. Your higher self is pure energy, very refined divine energy. This part of you is closer to the divine source than this part. So the way you talk to another human is not, or the way you hear another human, you're not going to be able to hear your soul. We already know that animals, they can hear even more refined frequencies. So that's why animals know when a storm is about to happen. They know, they'll run away, they'll hide. But as human, we'll just be in the middle of a storm, maybe like, water is getting into our car, and we're like, wow, I didn't check the weather, I didn't know. Animals don't need to check the weather. So there are other senses within us too. Those are non-physical senses. Those are the senses of our soul. They are not the senses of the body. And you can activate them. You can become aware of them. It's not that like, the switch is turned off and now you're going to go turn on. It's already there. It's almost like this. I like this analogy. Let's say I'm looking at this screen. I have a screen over here. I'm looking at the screen. When I'm looking at that screen, I'm not looking at what's here. Your soul is here, but you're so busy looking at what's happening outside of me. When I want to look at the soul, or what the soul is saying, I have to close eyes, or not close eyes, but I have to go inward. What's going on inside of me? What is my internal environment? What is this thing that I'm feeling right now? I need to become aware of what I don't see. We don't see our emotions. We feel them in our body. And sometimes we're so busy with our external senses, we don't even feel that. So now that we understand why we are here, we want to understand, why do you want to build that connection? The peace that every single person is looking for in this life, in this world. Sometimes we think like, let me earn money. I'm going to get a lot of peace and joy when I have a lot of money, because then I can buy whatever. And I don't have to worry about anything. You can ask any rich person, the joy that they have didn't come with money. Money actually is energy that amplifies everything. If you're an anxious person, you're going to be more anxious when you're a millionaire plus or billionaire. It's not going to help. There's something else that we don't understand about this whole piece of mystery that everyone is after. So when we are thinking like, maybe let me get married, maybe let me find a better partner, maybe let me have kids, maybe let me a house or a bigger house. These are all physical things. We think they will give us more joy, more happiness, or more peace. But when you get there, then it's just like, okay, yeah, I feel it, but it's not completing me. I don't feel like I am whole in this moment, this peace that I thought I would feel. Like I would tell you from my personal experience, I thought once I'm going to become a mother, I'm going to be like so zen. And because that's how I have seen, like, pictures of mother, they're holding a baby, they're like so zen. And in the hospital, when they gave me my son for the first time, and the doctor really wanted that skin to skin connection, I was, I think, most paranoid, scared, fearful, anxious in that very specific moment in my whole life. I had only one fear: I'm gonna die. They have me open, I'm gonna die, and I was like, I don't care about this kid right now. Get the kid away from me. I just need to live. Yes, I needed to live for my that time partner or for my child, but there was no zen feeling just because the kid came out. The zen feeling was developed later on by doing the work that I did, by connecting with the real me. The real me is this higher self. So we can live with the illusion that these physical things are going to fill me up. I'm not saying we're not going to work for them. Oh, definitely we're going to work for them. Well, when you're connected with your soul, you are at that place of peace, then you're going to use the unlimited energy of your soul to create abundance so you can share. Now, look at it this way: when you have no money problem, you have so much money coming in your life that you don't even have to think before you write a check. Let's say you have that much money coming out. How much you'll be willing to contribute to help someone, to help an organization, right? You will be willing to share a lot because you have a lot. Now, think of it this way: when you do have a very loving household, when you're married to someone who loves you and you love them, you have kids who are doing wonderful, they are happy, you're a very happy family. How much love you're going to be willing to share? Then maybe you're going to get a neighbor, and from the looks of it you can tell, like, they're a little bit struggling. You might go over more often and be like, hey, let me be your friend, let me bring you food. What you're doing, you're sharing love because you have overflow of love. And the same way, if you have a bigger house, you can host more people. Maybe somebody's in town and you'll be like, hey, I have a spare room, I have a guest room, or maybe I have this separate area that you can use. When we have more, we can share more. But to have more from a place of peace and not ever be in a place of fear, struggle, lack, or be in a place where, like, struggle, fear, and lack paralyzes you, because I don't think so you can ever get rid of fear and all that. They always stay there, but then they just stop controlling you because you are connected to a power bigger than your fears. So then we can share more. So the real deal would be, the real challenge would be to connect with that higher power. And I'm not talking about just God, I'm talking about the being that came into your body, because that being is a creation of God. Yes, I can always talk to God. I can talk to God and I can bring my prayers, I can bring my things, all that there. But then I also need to remember I am a divine being. That is how I go beyond my physical challenges. That is where I can see I'm afraid. Yes, I am very afraid right now. My whole nervous system, sympathetic nervous system, is active. My body is going into panic, but I am a divine being. I want to be connected with that soul part of me. So that is where we want to be. Now, how does it really benefit you to be connected? I want to share a few things. Soul has its own very unique senses, abilities, capabilities the body doesn't have. And we all have seen human who are just it feels like they're living above life, or they're larger than life. For me, that the first person who I looked at and I was like, oh my God, this person is just somewhere else. For me, that person was Tony Robbins. When I saw him in person, and I am trained in his methodology. I have seen him through, training videos and whatnot. But when I saw that person right in front of me, not just because his size is big, it's the power he speaks with, the certainty he speak with. I didn't have that. And I was like, how does he have it? And I don't have it. And you might have other people that you have seen, or mentors that you follow. Joe Dispenza is another person for me too. And then right now my own coach and my own teachers. But I'm talking about way back in the day when I didn't have that connection with my soul. It was just like, what do they have that I don't have? It's that link, that connection with their divine being. So what do you get with that? There are three faculties of the soul. One of them is faith. Whenever you step into faith, whenever, let's say, maybe your car broke down and you're like, I'm getting late, and all of a sudden you're like, I cannot panic right now, especially if you have kids with you. I cannot panic right now. I'm going to trust somebody's going to come and help me. It feels like, you don't have that faith, but you're just forcing it. You're like, that's who I'm going to be. In that moment, you're connected with your soul, because faith is, it's a sense that comes only from your soul. You cannot step into faith with your body. You have to go a little bit higher than the body, your higher self. That is where you feel or experience faith. That's why every single religion focuses on nurturing, building that faith. Of course, that is a completely different topic that we can get into. The second one is courage. Whenever you're being courageous for whatever thing, whether it was that you decided you're going to, get rid of that mouse from your home, you were so scared, but you're like, I'm going to do it because I need to live in this house. Or it could be the biggest decision of your life that you needed to take. For me, it was getting divorced, ending that marriage that was not benefiting any of us. For me, that's what it was. That courage that you come up with, you're like, I'm going to go forward with it. It comes from your soul. There are people who start businesses. There are people who go from one country to another country and they start all over. It's courage that help us do that. Sometimes we say, oh, I'm not that courageous. You're so courageous. Oh my God, look at that, the stuff that you have done. It's not that we are going to go and buy courage and we're going to build it up, and then one day you have this big courageous tower that now you can use to do whatever. Courage is always there for you. It's always available. It's almost like you have to get to it. You have to make a decision that that's what I'm going to do. But usually when we are being very courageous in one part of our life and not so courageous in the other part of life, in that area, we have started to vibrate at the same level as our soul, because somehow our connection got stronger in that area. And the other area maybe didn't. So let's say, I'll just give you an example. Let's say you are doing really well financially. You're making big decisions, big acquisitions are happening, companies are merging, and you're just out there. Well, when it comes to your personal relationships, you're like, I don't know how to talk to this person, or I don't even have the courage to go on dating again. I'd rather just not do it. I'm not good with relationships. I'm not so courageous to get into another relationship right now. So what's happening? That is the part where you still need to develop that relationship with your soul, because you haven't yet. And every single part of your life have another level of connection with your soul. So it's not just like you have worked in one area and kaboom, everything has changed. The third one is vision. Vision is our ability to see what's going to happen in tomorrow or what I want to happen tomorrow. Hold that vision and just focus on that vision. Now, if you have never experienced it, you might say, like, but I can visualize all the time. I can see where I'm going. And how is it possible someone cannot see that? But, still, I don't think so. I'm so connected with my soul. I have personally experienced a time in my life where I could not see anything. When I was working with my mentors, they'd be like, okay, what are you doing next year? And I'm like, I have no idea. It's a blank wall. I understand it was part of trauma and I was going through a very difficult time, but I just couldn't see. And sometime I'll just try to wonder how next summer is going to look like. Oh my God, what would be happening then? Not from a place of joy or happiness or excitement, from a place of worry. And then I'll just quickly come back. It's almost like I want to come out, but then I'm like, nope, I don't want to do that. It's too much. So I have gone through that. So I think anyone here who have experiences, they can relate to that, how it can paralyze us. That is when when we cannot really see where I'm going. That is when we start to worry. We start to become anxious. So then we are so anxious about our tomorrow because we are not connected with that power of our soul. We are not aware of it, that we can actually see where we are going. So those are the three wonderful, wonderful benefits that you get. Many more when you connect with your soul. We're going to get into very quickly, how do you build that connection? How do you even nurture it? One more thing I wanted to mention before we go there. When you start to build this relationship with your soul, this is what's going to start happening. There are three voices in our mind any given time. One is voice of fear, one is voice of other people, and one is voice of our soul. What happens, the voice of fear and others is so noisy that it takes over our whole mind. All of our hearing ability goes to what someone is saying in our head. We are talking about in our head. We are not talking about somebody physically talking to you. That we don't even hear what our soul is saying, because our soul is always talking to us in a very gentle, loving way. So another thing I need to do if I want to connect with my soul is learn how to quiet down my mind. So that is the process. I believe we talked about connecting with your heart. You can look for that recording or reach out to me. When we move from here to here, naturally, easily, your mind starts to slow down, because now you are here, you're not here. And when you're here, your heart sends a signal to your brain that lower brain disconnects and then higher brain gets activated. Your crown chakra is opening. You are connecting with your higher self more. If you want to just start this process, put your hand on your heart, close your eyes, just breathe from there. Just feel what's going on within you. You can start there, and slowly you're going to start feeling the connection with your soul. But I'm going to give you three very, very practical tips that you can start. The first one is spending alone time daily. If you're a very busy mother, you cannot do it. Take some time out on the weekend. Why alone? When I am here, there's that energy field around me. This energy field, right? It's around me. And let's say if my sister is sitting here, my spouse is sitting here, my kid is sitting here, they have their own energy field too. So I am merged in their energy field. Now it's like, three fields just going like this with each other. Yes, we are family. We sit together and we do need to feel connected with each other. It's the heart chakra connecting with others. But if I want to connect with the, who am I? Yes, I'm part of this family unit, but who am I as a soul? Why did I come here? I cannot do that. I cannot go inward and deeper while there's so much energetical noise around me. I need to be alone. So the ideal would be go to a forest, go to a beach, go to mountain, go to a park, because in the nature where there's a lot of trees and water, the frequency is different. It's higher vibration than it's in your home, because usually that is where the grounding energy is. No one is sitting there arguing, fighting, using electronics. Electronics have their own energetical garbage that gets dumped into our home and onto our body. Dedicate to be alone with yourself. Once I started this practice in 2018, at this point, if I have not been alone outside with myself, something starts to happen. Even if I can do it for an hour, even if I can do it for 2 hours. I was visiting this summer, I visited Canada, and I didn't go in any nature because there was a lot of family time. And one of my friend, I was out with her and I saw this tree and I was like, I need to hug this tree. I need to be with nature. When you get used to feeling that way, then you start to miss it too. So definitely start spending alone time. Whenever you spend alone time, go with questions. If you close your eyes and you'll start asking, who am I? Eventually you're going to start hearing the answer. And don't be afraid when you hear that answer. It's not like, something spooky is talking to you. It's your higher self. That is your real self. This body is just a manifestation of that energy, so you can actually be here and you can grow it and you can contribute. But all the wisdom is with your soul about what you're here to do. If you go to someone else and you ask them, what is my purpose? They will say, go ask this question to yourself and meditate on it. And one day you'll know the answer. Only you would know what it is for you. And I had to dig deeper within me, and I had to find that answer within me. Nobody told me what I'm here to do. But once I found it, I did use some other tools to understand, is that what I'm really here? Am I hearing it right? And I got the positive validation. So I am on this path now. Life becomes so much easier. The second one is meditation. Now, a lot of people run away from meditation. They're like, I can't really do it. It's too much for me. Now, meditation just means, the word means getting to know yourself. Meditation does not mean that you have to sit there and close your eyes and chant Om. Meditation means getting to know yourself. So every single day, take out 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You can close your eyes. You can use all kind of elaborated systems that are out there to go inward. But the goal would be to get to know who you are. But when I'm talking about who you are as a higher self. I'm not talking about your likes, dislike, what food you like. I'm talking about who is your higher self. I had an experience where in meditation, one day I heard, remember who you are. And I was like, who am I? How do I remember that? It was very frustrating. No one can help me. I asked my mentors and they're like, well, you have to just sit with yourself more. So I have been doing more and more meditation. I dedicate 3.5 hours every single day of my part of my day to just go inward and nurture that part of me. You don't have to do that much. You can start at 5 minutes. So I started to close my eyes and I started to tell myself, who am I? Who am I? And my mentor told me that when he got there, he stayed in blank for 2 years. So he said, Alia, don't be surprised if the answer doesn't come running to you tomorrow. Because in order for me to receive that, in order for me to connect with my higher self like this, I need to expand my consciousness. What is consciousness? The way I think. Am I thinking higher quality thoughts, higher consciousness, or lower quality thoughts, lower consciousness? If I am spending all my day being in fear, worry, doubt, judging other people, judging myself, I'm in lower consciousness. I'm not going to be here, my soul. My soul is a frequency of higher consciousness. When I'm being joyful, when I'm thinking positive, and I'm seeing good in everything, I can hear that voice more. So you can do meditation many ways. You can even do walking meditation. You can walk in a circle, you can walk in an infinity sign, you can walk through a labyrinth. If you have it close to your home, you can create your own in your backyard. When you're walking, go very slow and don't talk to anybody, don't get on a phone call, don't listen to any book, don't have any electronic device near you. Keep your eyes open, but walk very slow and walk bare feet. That is walking meditation. Do that for 15 minutes and slowly you're going to start feeling like there's more to me than just this body. That is when you're making that contact with your own higher self. And it is so precious and priceless to have that contact. Like, we talk about having your worth is your net worth is your network, right? We have heard that. Who do you know in the human world that can make those connections? The most precious network you're gonna have is between you and your higher self. It knows everything. It knows what you're here to do. It knows all the stories of the other souls that you're surrounded by. The wisdom that's going to come from your higher self, it's going to help you grow tremendously in a very short period of time. Because what's happening, you don't have to keep making the mistake to get to the other side, to get to the answer. You can make the mistake once, sit with yourself and talk to yourself, talk to your higher self. You'll get guidance. It will tell you, let it go. Then all you have to do is work on letting go, learning that skill in the human body, instead of staying in the same problem for 3, 4, 5, 10 years. So that's how you can save a lot of time. The last one is being aware of your actions. So no matter what action you're taking, this is how you can be plugged into your soul energy at all time. Think of it this way, that if you bring a toaster home and you never plug it, you'll say the toaster is not working. But when you plug it, the toaster will start working. All you have to do is plug in to have the flow of electricity. So all you need to do, instead of being focused on what's going on outside of you, being focused on your soul. So whenever you're feeling overwhelmed, take a moment, close your eyes, go inward and be like, what's going on within me? What am I here to learn? Why this thing keep repeating? And wait for the answers. That's when you're asking for help from that higher part of you. And when you are being aware of your actions, this is how you're going to be aware of, am I taking this action towards my soul? Or am I taking actions towards maybe my conditioning or pleasing someone? So let's say, I'll give you example. Let's say I wake up in the morning and I can sit right there and then I can pray, I can meditate, I can do breathing exercise so my body's getting stronger, so it can hold more of my soul light in this body, because body is strong now. Soul is not gonna hold on to a weaker body. Weaker body is when there's not too much excess of the soul, because I have been involved in lower consciousness stuff, hating myself, feeling bad about myself, eating bad kind of food. So when I'm taking those actions, am I taking this action to get closer to my soul or closer to my conditioning? Then the breakfast time comes. I can eat my usual, it could be like, very greasy food, or I can eat nourishing food that is going to, again, nourish my body, make it stronger. That would be an action towards my soul. The way I do it in my mind, you guys can do that too. I just ask myself, am I being loyal to my soul right now, or am I being loyal to others? And others would include like the societal conditioning that we go through. Then after that, later in the day, let's say you want to have a conversation with somebody and you'd rather not have that conversation. So easy way would be like, I'm just going to cancel that appointment. I'm just going to say I'm too busy. Now, that action, is it coming from being loyal to your soul, which is unlimited, where there's no fear? Or is it coming because you are being loyal to your conditioning? Conditioning is whenever you're afraid, run, fight, flight, freeze mode. So when you start asking this question, every action you take, question every thought you think, you'll be able to connect and plug into your soul more and more and more. These are the three ways that if you implement in your life, you are going to start seeing that deeper connection with your higher self. But here's something I want to share, which you can do if you're open to it. Just close your eyes, take a deep breath, relax, and just say, let me feel my soul. I feel my soul in my whole body. I feel my soul around me. You can even go a step further and say, let me see my soul. Let me hear my soul. What is it that my soul is saying right now? You can do this internal exercise for as long as you want to. I have done this for hour plus. It's such a beautiful place to be. But that is where I was saying, once I started to tap into this power, this invisible power, that is the real me. I was able to do things that I thought I would never be able to do, or maybe I'll be able to do them after 10 years. That is how powerful this infinite part of us is, and that is our real power. It is our true essence. And when I'm saying, let me feel my soul, I'm talking to God. I'm asking God, hey God, can you help me? I want to elevate my consciousness. I want to elevate my senses beyond my physical senses. I want to connect with this power that you created that manifested in this body. So I'm talking to God. Let me feel that. Because when I can feel all of it, when my consciousness become one with my higher self, I become such a big light in this world. Such a big light. And that light, I don't even have to go to people's homes. As a light, I am going to benefit them. If you guys have ever heard that concept, like, about saints. So saints are not prophet, but saints are very elevated, consciously very elevated human being. Maybe because they have worshipped a lot. Maybe they have separated themselves from the society and they have gone in a cave to just worship, but they have really connected with their higher self. So what happens then? People start to almost kind of start worshiping them, and they'll be like, I went to the saint's grave, and then this miracle happened and that miracle happened. What is actually going on? Because those miracles really exist. One is, it's our belief. When we see somebody so pious, we believe that person is so better than us. If we just sit next to them, we'll get rebuff from them. That is one thing that benefits us. Our own unconscious mind start benefiting us because of that belief. Another thing is, when one human expand to that level, that light of the soul can come into them, if you sit next to them, if you're in the same room with them, if you're even hearing their voice, you can benefit from their expansion in a way that your aura will start to expand and more of the light will be able to come into you. That's why we also say, another thing that we learn as kids, hang out with good people, hang out with good friends. You'll be a better friend, better person if you hang out with good people. So by good people, what do we mean? Those who don't lie, don't cheat, they always tell the truth. They are the people who are at peace. They are not judgmental. So they are the people who live in higher consciousness. They are a little bit closer to their higher self. When you hang out with them, you get uplifted. Your consciousness change. you start to hear more from your soul too. That's why people go to all kind of spiritual gatherings. That's why they come together to pray, to meditate. Because when all the forces are coming together, imagine all these bodies and these higher selves are coming together, you can benefit from it. So maybe you can meditate with someone. If you do have a partner, meditate with them. Go join a meditation group. If that is the way, you can do it that way. You can join, you can, if you pray, you can pray in congregation. And if you're like, okay, I don't want to do all of that, I'm not interested. Go out, be in the woods, be on the beach, anywhere nature, close your eyes and just say, let me feel you. Let me see you. Let me hear you. What's happening? That's higher consciousness thought. You're willingly opening yourself for the light to come through you, the light of your soul. So I know we have gone a little bit more on our time, but I really hope that you have benefited from this conversation, at least if nothing else, to just be convinced, I want to connect with that invisible part of me. It's not just a myth or a concept that I don't know about. It's real. And when you do that, you're going to start benefiting from that connection. And if you want to take a deeper journey on connecting with your soul and falling in love with that soul, reach out to me. You can find me. Those who are watching me in the Facebook, you know where to find me. If you're just watching a random YouTube video, just Google Alia the Love Coach. You'll be able to find me. And I would love to take you on this inward journey. That is all for today. I'll see you next Thursday. Sending you all so much love. Bye.